Welcome back to the workshops. Today we're going to talk about making your words as good as you can. I'll start with a quote by an author. This is how you do it. You sit down at the keyboard and you put one word after another until it's done. It's that easy and that hard. And that was said by Neil Gaiman. Sometimes writers think that they can only put their ideas down on paper in their best English. This is multitasking. Neuroscience shows that our brains are designed for monotasking and that those who multitask are at heightened risk of mental ill health. Research students already encounter plenty of issues to make them anxious. So bringing it on themselves by trying to do two separate exercises at once is not smart. Once you have a first draft of a piece of writing, you may want to set it aside and come back to it for the refining process, when you have some distance from the grueling work of extracting and documenting and ordering your ideas. When you do this, try thinking of yourself as a new reader of your work and revise through that lens. You're likely to see any gaps or errors of language more easily if you come back after a while. But also don't be a perfectionist. No one's thesis is ever perfect. Oscar Wilde, another famous British author who was also very funny, said, "I was once working on the proof of one of my poems all morning. I took out a comma. In the afternoon, I put it back again." So he's trying to be funny. The serious point of what he's saying is don't continuously edit your writing. That may be a tendency of your doing your research at this stage. Some researchers are type A perfectionists. To use another quote, they let the perfect be the enemy of the good. Your thesis needs to be good enough to pass. It won't pass with honours. You're not competing for an award. You just need to pass it. So get your words as good as you can get them to enable your examiner to read your ideas as easily as possible. But when you have done that, stop. So from the not very good words to the best you can manage, I think in terms of another quote by Aristotle, the famous Greek philosopher. He said, "To write well, express yourself like the common people, but think like a wise man." I used to think that in order to write well academically, I needed to use fancy academic language, full of big words and long, winding sentences. That's how other scholars did it, and surely by imitating that, I would also be showing how smart I was, but that's untrue. The right place for complexity lies in your ideas, but you should try to express those in the simplest words possible. It's precisely because they are deeper and richer than everyday speak that our expression of them needs the plainest and clearest language possible. While you may be breathing a sigh of relief at this point, I have to tell you that it's actually hard, repetitive work. As I said before, the best writers write 3 or 4 drafts to convey their meaning as precisely as they can, and to make it sound, in fact, like they are doing so in their first rough draft. Mark Tredenick writes the following in his Little Red Writing Book. "The more you write as though you were saying something to someone, the better they are likely to understand, to be moved, to be changed, to be sold. The more likely they are to read on and still be awake at the end, which helps. The more your writing sounds like the best kind of talking, in other words, the more like the best kind of writing it will be. It's talking tidied up. It's speaking compressed, clarified, enriched, and heightened by thought and art, and set down on paper. If what you write doesn't sound like someone could speak it, write it again so it does. Thank you for listening.